We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 94 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to start it at the very end and work our way forward, and you won't realize it until you get to the beginning that the whole thing was actually done in reverse. Or we're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino movies. And then we're going to talk about what we watched this week. And Scott's really enjoying that reference.
I really enjoyed that one. I don't like. At first I didn't get it, but then when I started to get it, I was like, oh, okay, he's doing.
And that's the whole point.
Yeah,
is you don't get it, and then you watch and you're like, oh, it was backwards.
Yeah, I still haven't rewatched that movie actually since having that realization told to me. Did not realize that the first time I watched it, I'm going to be honest. That was in high school though.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I've only ever seen that one once all the way through and did not know until you told me when we talked about it on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, right on. So, for those who don't know, we're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
I don't know if we actually had said that.
I don't know. One of only two Quentin Tarantino movies I've actually seen.
I bet I can guess the second one.
What's the other one, Scott?
It's either Django or Hateful Eight.
I was going Inglourious Bastards.
Oh,
Scott nailed it.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I thought so. I thought that one would get you. You got Brad Pitt in there. It's a little bit more. I feel
true.
that one's one of his ones that's a little bit more like. It seems like it might not be. You know, you could almost like pass it off as like a Coen Brothers, maybe like close.
Kind of. Yeah.
It's a lot more gory than any Coen Brothers one, but the weird level, I think you could be like, you could mistake it.
It's Christopher Waltz. Like, it just...
Yeah.
That's why he watched it, let's be real.
Yeah, that sold me.
Yeah.
And Michael Fassbender, maybe.
Yeah, just a solid cast, which I think is the like one of the good trademarks of Quentin Tarantino. He always has just solid like casts in all his movies. Like, I can't think of one where... Well, there's 3 that I haven't seen, so maybe those ones don't have as great a cast. But all the ones I have seen, I think they all have pretty great casts.
So what are the 3 you haven't seen?
I was just trying to think. I know one's the Jackie Brown one, because I was going to watch that on the weekend, but it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Jeez. And I was like, I wasn't prepared for that.
Back in the day, because what was that movie from? Like
97.
95? 97? Jeez.
Yeah. So I still haven't watched that one. I'm just mainly going off of his ones that he wrote and directed.
Okay.
So that like is classified as like the Tarantino ones, like with, but yeah, that and Death Proof I haven't seen, and I think I guess it's just those 2 because I watched the Hateful Eight over the weekend.
I've never heard of either one of those, so
fair enough. So Jackie Brown, I had really only ever heard of in passing. It's about like a...
Samuel L. Jackson's in that one, isn't he?
I think so. Yes, I'm seeing by the quick rundown that he is. But yeah, I think this one it's just like about a flight attendant who gets in with some bad stuff and ends up... I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I was gonna watch it on the weekend, but it was too long. But all of his movies, except for his first one, are fairly long. Like they're all plus 2 hours, which is quite a commitment. Quite a hop too, because I watched Reservoir Dogs over the weekend as well, which is his first movie.
That was one I didn't mind.
That one I really enjoyed, actually. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect.
Heavy twist at the end. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, one which you like the whole movie, they kind of spend justifying how it, well, at the beginning of the movie they kind of throw out how that twist being, possible in a sense, and then it ends up being like, oh well, no, I guess undercover cop can get shot. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But
so don't be an undercover cop.
Yeah, that's the lesson I got from that movie. And then don't admit it at the end.
Yeah.
When the guy saves you because he trusted you. But I really enjoyed Reservoir Dogs. I like the fact that the part I really enjoyed about it was the fact that I knew it was his first one, and just like watching the fact that it's such a contained movie, like 80% of it's in that one room in that warehouse, and then like certain flashes around the flashes outside of it, but like not a whole lot of like he utilizes just a lot of dialogue in his movies. I noticed this weekend when I was watching a few of them, which I found like surprising, because when I think back on his movies, I imagine a lot of more of the action parts, some of the speeches, but a lot of the action parts are what stick out to me more. So it's funny that it's actually a lot of talking, like a lot of talking. But yeah.
Yeah, he's not my favorite director, if I'm being completely honest. Like, some of his movies, like I enjoyed to a degree, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, nah, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I get that. Like
honestly, like his number one movie that I loved was The Usual Suspects, and I found out that was a Bryan Singer movie, and it wasn't even him. So
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think that's him.
No, it's not. But it felt like it could have been one of his movies.
I could see that, kind of like with the twist and the cast too.
Yeah, like he kind of reminds me of Tim Burton, where I can't figure out how he still keeps getting directing gigs, because his movies are never like blow you out of the water, yet he's still around somehow.
Well, I think it's because he definitely makes it, like, one thing I noticed while I was watching Hateful Eight in particular, was that his are very like old school Hollywood kind of style, like those older movies, a lot more, like I said, lingering shots, like lots of dialogue, which I was like, okay, so I think that's where he's like popular, is in a sense with the, the Hollywood critic kind of, the Oscar people kind of category. I don't know.
I don't want to say film conservative.
The Academy, as they're referred to sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Like the kind of I don't want to say snobbery, but the little bit more like artsy when it comes to like
the conservationists.
Yeah, there's where we go. Yeah, the ones who like to keep it like, yeah, you have to see this in cinemas and it's shot on film, because that's another thing he's big on. Like, he shoots things on film. He doesn't use a lot of green screen. Like, so like I get why he's I could see why he's iconic, because like who he's kind of playing to, if that makes sense. Like the audience he plays to is what kind of keeps whatever director around, in a sense. And he writes a lot of his own, like all these ones that we've talked about.
See, I think that's where it loses me a lot, is the stories.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you got so much going on, dude. Like, I feel like I'm trying to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies at the same time.
That's a fair comparison, because
or like cut the scenes out and then watch like all of Return of the King at the same time with like everything that's going on like simultaneously. And I'm just like, no, can't do it.
It definitely takes a lot of focus. It's not one of those things you can like walk away. You can't be like cooking or doing dishes while you're with a Tarantino movie on, because you're gonna miss something. Or
well, my first introduction to him would have been the Kill Bill movies.
Same here, actually.
Probably Volume 2 before Volume 1. Oh, so maybe because I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was kind of like, okay, Uma, like, whatever. Do your thing, I guess. Like, this isn't who you were and the producers, but do your thing.
And I was thinking, where's her Poison Ivy costume? Was what I was thinking the whole time.
Like, it just did nothing for me. Didn't even spark like an interest. And then after that, it was probably Reservoir Dogs that I saw next. And then later on in life, Pulp Fiction, because of Community. And I was like, oh, this doesn't do anything for me. Like, star-studded cast right from top to bottom. Nothing for me. Doesn't even like begin an itch that I could scratch. Nothing. Inglourious Basterds is probably the only one that I enjoyed.
And that's I could see that too, because I feel.
And that was just Brad Pitt and what's his face? Christoph Waltz, who I just mentioned. Like, it was just them.
I remembered.
Yeah, we're hunting Nazis. Like, that's pretty much it.
Of the 2 that I've seen, that one I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think it's because it's the most like least Quentin Tarantino-y, if that makes sense.
Accessible.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's more accessible to people who don't care, like don't care necessarily for his style, but still up for like.
Well, it probably helps that it at least ties into something historically.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't
right,
have to,
like it's a bullshit story, but it also like ties in historically.
Yeah, and you're not as like lost with the narrative because you're like, well, this is a war, so we're leading towards some kind of resolution on that front in a sense. Like they're hunting Nazis. It's not hard to get past the story. Whereas like Pulp Fiction, I haven't seen, like I said, since high school. So, and I could not talk about that. Like I can't speak to like whether I like it or not because I can't remember much about it because I haven't seen it for so long. But yeah, I forgot what my point was going to be for that. Anywho,
It's just Pulp Fiction. I found was long and dull, and I actually
it was just a lot of shit happening.
Well, that's it, and I think that part of what makes it undesirable for a casual viewer is the fact that it is moving backwards.
yeah,
Because it makes it difficult to follow because you're like, what the hell's going on? And then that makes it difficult to enjoy. And then there's a lot of stupid scenes that make no sense because you don't have the character build up for it yet. And I can see why there's a resolution as you get to the end, but at the same time, it's I don't know, it's tedious is what I think it is.
yeah.
It's a tedious film.
Yeah, no, I think I could agree. That's why I haven't rewatched it. That was the one. That was the last on the list of the ones I was going to get to, just because like it is a little more work.
Yeah, definitely.
That and like he tries to connect like his films, like kind of let them linger. Like this guy is related to this guy, or this is that sort of thing. And like so many of the actors in his movies are in multiple movies.
Yeah.
So that like it just feels super not watered down, but like it's like putting a hat on a hat, where it's just like these guys are related, and you're like, it's the same fucking person, man. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah, that's fair. Samuel L. Jackson's in, I think, like half.
In everything.
Is he in all of them? He might.
No,
be.
not all, but he's in like 4 or 5.
So,
Let's see.
he's not in
pull
Kill
it.
Bill.
Okay. Okay, so we got Jackie Brown. Yes.
Was he in Death Proof?
I don't know. I'm gonna click on my best friend's birthday. He is not in that one.
Yeah, he wasn't in Reservoir Dogs, I don't think. No, he wasn't in Reservoir Dogs.
He's probably going to be in the untitled Star Trek project because he hasn't been in that franchise yet. He was in The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, he was pretty much the lead in Hateful Eight.
Well, yeah. Was he in Django?
Yeah, he's the he's what Leo's slave.
Oh, good try on beating around the bush.
I was trying to think of something nice, and I was like,
Helper. He's a helper.
There we go.
servant would have been probably a better one too.
There's a
But it's a theme of the movie as well, though. In my defense, it's about that, like it's about slavery.
There's a Bob Odenkirk and David Cross did a sketch show for Netflix, and one of their sketches is a play on 12 Years a Slave, except that it's redone in a way that makes the white slave owners look like they were just like buddies trying to help them out. They called them helpers. It was all real wholesome. It was so funny.
That's terrible.
It's such a good sketch, though.
Yeah, no, I can imagine just like just describing it though, just in an audio medium doesn't play as well.
Yeah. Oh no, it's so much better to watch that bit.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it'd be worse if someone actually did it seriously, I think. Well, obviously.
Oh, definitely.
Someone saw that and was like, oh, that is a good idea.
Okay, so do we have any more thoughts about Quentin Tarantino movies?
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, you had.
If I never saw another one after Once Upon a Time.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. It looked okay.
That's what sparked the motivation for this episode.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing it sometime this week or weekend to check it out, make a video review. But yeah, I'm curious to check that one out, mainly because Brad Pitt and Leo.
Look at that, Brad Pitt, another callback.
Yeah,
You think he's related to somebody?
potentially. does take place in a 70s. I can't remember which era it's supposed to be.
Something like that.
Charlie Manson era.
Helter Skelter.
Exactly.
Words.
Well, no, I know what he's talking about with that. I don't know what to add to that. I don't know what year that was. But anyways, so yeah, Quentin Tarantino, we all done with that?
I'm done with it. I was done with it before we even started.
Okay. Well, what I watched this week was 2 Quentin Tarantino movies.
Crushed it.
Killed it.
Solid segue.
That's all 12 hours of viewing that you had this week, too.
Pretty much, yeah. I got through Reservoir Dogs, which was only an hour and a half. So I was prepared to get through a bunch of his movies. And then I saw the rest of them were all 2-3 hours. And I was like, oh God. So I got through Hateful Eight, and which I wrote down as Eightful Eight, just because that's, I don't know why, but I did write that down. Anyways,
do what you gotta do, man. I support you.
I know Craig didn't see this, but you've seen this one, right, Andrew? The Hateful Eight?
Yeah. Well, not the whole thing. I didn't see the ending.
Okay. Did you see the scene where Kurt Russell smashes a guitar?
Yes.
That was a $3 million guitar that was lent to them. That was like 150 years old.
Really?
He was not supposed to smash it. It was supposed to get switched
Yeah.
out. It was supposed to get switched out before he smashed it, and he forgot and smashed a. And like when you see her reaction, this is a fun fact I heard about on like YouTube a couple of years ago. But yeah, like when you see what's her name's reaction, like the girl who was playing the guitar, she's just like, oh no, and it's like a real reaction to like he just smashed a like priceless guitar that was like lent to them by like the the Smithsonian or something along those lines, maybe like the music version of the Smithsonian.
Why would they have that real guitar though?
Well, because
it's Quentin Tarantino. So
it's a period piece. Yeah, so
they couldn't just fucking make a replica.
No, it needs to
like
be
this. This sounds fabricated to me. Like they did it kind of on purpose. Just like when Brad Pitt not Brad Pitt, when what's his name?
It's Jennifer Jason Leigh. Huh.
What's his name? The guy who everyone thinks is Leonardo. There we go. Like when he hacks up his hand and keeps acting, like, oh yeah, he deserves an Oscar for that. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, just because he did something and kept going doesn't mean he deserves an award. Like, I cut my fingers at work and I keep cutting hair. You know why? Because I gotta keep fucking working. No one's giving me an award. I cut hair on a broken foot. No one gave me a fucking award for that.
Well,
I feel like there's too many of these these things that it seems suspicious to me. That like things just keep happening on Quentin Tarantino sets.
That's fair. And part of me
next you're gonna tell me Uma Thurman like actually shot up heroin in Pulp Fiction. It actually happened because it had to be authentic. Like, no, I refuse to accept these things as legitimate fact of life.
Well, he did, like, whether it was planned or orchestrated, I can't speak to that. But he did smash a priceless, I think it was $3 million.
145-year-old Martin guitar. I looked it up.
Okay. Did I get the $3 million ballpark right?
Or it didn't have a price on there.
Okay, so the price.
If I was the curator of museum and anybody.
Well, they're not doing it.
Anybody who could be anybody
never gonna happen again.
who came up to me and said, "Hey, can we get this for this scene?" I'd say, "Why?" And then they'd probably say, "Well, we want, whatever the reason is." I'd be like, "No."
What if they got Samuel Jackson?
I know you have a props department, so make one and then lie through your fucking teeth.
No, I'm agreeing. He should never have been lent it. No one should have let him have it. They were in the middle of, I don't know where they were actually. I don't know if that was actually a set that they had the cabin in or if it was a cabin actually in the middle of Wyoming.
Right off the hop, I'm telling you, they would have had to have insurance on it.
Oh, it was definitely insured.
And that insurance policy probably cost more than it would cost to make the fucking fake guitar.
Well, no, definitely. Fake guitar doesn't cost anything really at all to make.
Like,
especially in comparison to 150.
Print some fucking stickers. Throw it on the goddamn guitar to look like it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I just thought that was a fun fact I wanted to share about the Hateful Eight, or the Eightful Eight.
Eightful Eight?
That's what I have written down.
What are you, French? Dropping your H's?
The Wheatful Eight. They ate too much bread.
I'm trying to think of a
Took you on a
segue, but
minute,
I've got
that one.
nothing. Should I continue with what I watched, or should we hop to one of your guys'?
Might as well continue.
Continue with your list.
Okay, so the most of my weekend actually wasn't held up with Quentin Tarantino movies. All Saturday I spent, because of Comic-Con, watching lots and lots of trailers. So I made 9 or 10 trailers in total.
So we're going to talk about the fun trailer everybody's talking about this weekend.
The Top Gun one?
We're gonna, no, I haven't seen that one.
Okay,
I
which
haven't
one
heard
are you?
anybody talk about the Top Gun trailer yet.
See, that's funny, because the Top Gun one was one of the first ones to drop. It was on the Thursday.
Yeah, but it dropped
Yeah, it dropped
before it happened. Didn't Tom Cruise drop it?
Yeah, well, no, it was dropped at the first day of Comic-Con, so it was the Thursday. That's the weird part. They start on Thursday. Yeah. But yeah, so Thursday that one dropped, Top Gun Maverick. And I think it looks pretty good. They actually have Tom Cruise in real jets. No CGI. It looks fucking crazy. It looks like they just put a couple GoPros, but really I imagine more expensive GoPros, inside a cockpit, and they filmed the movie. And so yeah, I'm excited for that one. But Craig, which one was the one you're talking about that everyone's talking about?
Cats.
Cats. Oh yeah, I forgot to write down Cats because it was terrifying, and I had to.
See, I don't get that.
Dude, I'm so pumped up for Cats,
It's
though.
like-
But that's because I love the musical.
I'm completely ambivalent. Seems like everybody I've heard have a comment on it has been, I'm so psyched to see this movie. I love it. I love the concept. I love everything about it. And
See,
this is
I
the
don't
most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my entire
Yeah,
life.
see,
I
I love the
trailer.
Andrew Lloyd Webber one. I have it on DVD.
Okay, see, and I saw that one growing up. I could never remember if that was like a recording or if that was like an actual movie that was made. You know
No,
what I
it
mean?
was a recording of the
Okay.
stage production.
All right, but that was
No,
like a
I've-
thing that was released, though. Like my mom
Yeah.
would have had it, right? Because that's how I
Yeah.
remember. It was my mom would watch this thing.
Yeah.
That
I have less of an idea of what Cats is about after having watched the new trailer.
Oh,
than I
same
did
here.
Before I saw the trailer, because I have not seen Cats at all.
See, I love Cats. Loved it. This one, I am pumped as fuck for it. Kendall won't go see it with me because it creeps her the fuck
See,
out.
I don't
Understandably.
get that.
Understandably. Because who the fuck decided we're going to make, real human cats?
I thought that was such a cool idea, because that was the whole concept, is it's people wearing cat costumes, so why
But
not
that's
use
the
our
thing.
advancement in
They're not
technology?
in real costumes.
No,
they're
see, I-
CGI. That's where I'm screwed
Yeah.
up. It's like their
See,
hair
I
isn't
pref-
right.
No.
I've had
I
cats.
preferred the Andrew Lloyd Webber one where it was a person in a cat costume.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, you can differentiate. It's not like, here's a silky smooth fucking latex looking Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
No thank you.
They didn't look like. They look like if. It was weird. I don't know. The CGI was a little too uncanny valley for me at least. But I was excited. I watched the trailer because I was curious. I'm from my memory of my mom watching Cats when I was younger and me getting it through osmosis because of that. I remember thinking it was kind of weird, but also kind of curious to actually learn more about it. And then I saw this trailer, and it actually scarred me a little bit. I was trying to make a trailer reaction to it, and I didn't say anything. My mouth was just open the whole time, what the fuck? And then until I saw Idris Elba, then I'm like, oh, they put a hat on a cat.
Yeah, well,
Cat in the Hat. Idris Elba is the Cat in the Hat. That's a
Well, I
spoiler
think
alert for everybody.
It's in the trailer.
I think he's Macavity. I think he plays the devil, which their version of the devil,
Yeah.
the evil cat.
Yeah. You would know so much more about this. I'm just agreeing.
Oh yeah, punch. Dame Judi Dench plays old Deuteronomy, who is their leader, who's an old dude in the the stage production
Yeah.
one, and now it's an old lady, and it's Dame Judi Dench, so that's okay. Jennifer Hudson is in there. She plays Grisabella. She's supposed to be this mangy cat who no one really accepts.
Well, see,
who
that's the thing.
I believe at the end she's the one they choose to send on to a better life. Picked her to ascend to the heavens type thing.
Well, because I heard it's supposed to be an analogy for dying,
Yeah, go
passing
to
on.
yeah. It's go to heaven or hell, and Macavity's there to kind of draw someone to the dark side,
Via
take them to hell.
cats.
Yeah, well he is a cat.
Yeah.
in a hat.
Yes.
I like cat with a hat.
Jason Derulo's the Rum Tum Tugger, who's supposed to be like this like seductive like. Meow.
I think I remember that one from the other one.
Yeah. Well, that's how he meows, and he's like meow.
I remember that
Meow.
facial expression.
Like,
yeah.
Meow. With like he's the one who's got like the boa built into his suit.
Yeah.
No one else does. He's just got the boa.
That's where he stuck out. Like he had the most like, and that's the other thing. Like they all looked so the same in this trailer. Whereas like I could remember distinct differences between them and the other one, and they looked like because they had actual stuff on, they could like mange it up a little bit, like cats are. All these ones look like they just got out of like a what's it called, like one of those shows where you take cats and dogs, Pet Show or whatever. I don't know. Is there a name besides Pet Show?
I don't know.
But yeah, like they look too pristine. You know what I mean? Like they didn't look like they were actually in the world. They looked like a computer made a cat on a person in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, which I get that's what they did, but it's also like, well, be realistic with it. Like they're cats. Cats get dirty. They lick themselves. They get especially if they're outside. I don't know if this one's supposed to take place in the streets at all. That's what I remember.
Well,
from,
a lot of them, I think it's more of like they're indoor cats who leave the house for that.
Gotcha.
Like there's a couple of them. Like I think it's the Rum Tum Tugger. I think in his song he's like if you let, I can't remember the words off the top of my head, but it's like when you let me out, like I want you back in type thing. Like, because that's his whole thing is like he's a snobby fucking cat. Yeah, it's like when you let me in, then I want to go out with that afterwards. And if you put him on a mouse, he'd rather you set him on a rat. But if you set him on a rat, then he'd rather chase a mouse.
So the Andrew
Lloyd Webber.
Okay, I couldn't remember what I wasn't sure.
Phantom of the Opera, legendary.
Yeah, so his version, which is I'm guessing the only one I've seen, or his film.
I'm pretty sure you might have been there watching it at Sarah's one time, because I gave it to her for Christmas one year, and she's like, "I fucking hate this," and I was like, "Well, I fucking hate you." That's not true. I didn't say that. I didn't feel that way, but somewhere deep down I might have felt that way because I fucking love cats.
Yeah.
Love cats.
Yeah, I'm just like the only thing I can remember is I thought the whole thing took place in an alleyway. That's the part I was trying to get at. Like, is that?
Yeah, correct? It does. Yeah.
Okay.
So it takes place like around town, type thing.
Okay. Do they go inside at any points in that one? Is my question. Because in this one we see them in like a bedroom. They do
and they don't. Like they'll go into places, telling like while they're singing the story.
Okay.
Like the way I interpreted it, and the last time I watched Cats was probably 7-8 years ago. It was probably like 3 or 4, but 7-8 years ago to seem cool.
Watched it yesterday morning, guys.
I have it on at the shop right now, so you can eat it.
It's my
what he watched
screensaver
before the podcast. He's watching it right now.
Right now, what? But no,
memories. Is that the right song?
All alone in the moonlight. Speaking of which, they actually play a song that sounds identical to that.
Okay.
In the background of one of the movies I watched this week.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I was trying to think. Like my interpretation of it, based off of like what I've seen it recently, is it's like each of them is kind of like making their case, type thing of like why they should be able to kind of ascend to the heavens or whatever it is that they call it.
Be a free cat.
Yeah, like I can't. I'm gonna Google it because I can't remember. There's a term that they use for it. It's like the greeting or something like that. Because at the beginning of the musical, like they sing a song, they do their dance, and like they show up, but then they all like get together in this creepy like they're crawling across the floor towards the stage, all like monotonely doing. It's creepy as fuck.
This part's sticking out to me in my memory.
Yeah, where they're they're
they're
rehearsing a monologue. Yeah. Like they're all monologuing, and you're like, what the fuck? It's sketchy,
and the
songs are so catchy. Yeah, and they're just like,
you sparked that right out of. I think I had suppressed that till you just mentioned it.
Yeah. Here we go. Describe the Jellicle tribe and its purpose. Jellicle songs for Jellicle cats. The cats, who break the fourth wall throughout the show, then notice that they are being watched by a human audience and proceed to explain how the different cats of the tribe are named. The naming of cats, which is a song. This is followed by a ballet dance performed by Victoria, the white cat, to signal the beginning of the Jellicle Ball. I guess that's what they call the Jellicle Ball, where they get together.
Okay.
At this moment, Munkustrap, the show's main narrator, explains that tonight the Jellicle patriarch, Old Deuteronomy, will make an appearance and choose one of the cats to be reborn into a new life on the Heaviside layer. Yeah, so it's just like ascending. Like it's literally like, hey,
layer?
yeah.
Okay.
The first contender, Munkustrap, introduces Jenny Anydots, the old Gumby cat. A large tabby cat who lazes around all day, but come midnight she becomes active, teaching mice and cockroaches various activities to curb their naturally destructive habits. Just as Jenny Anydots finishes her song, the music changes suddenly and Rum Tum Tugger makes his extravagant entrance in front of the tribe. The Rum Tum Tugger is the song. He's a very fickle and unappeasable, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. Oh, I remember that. There's no doing anything about it. And he's like super flamboyant to everything he does, and it is amazing. I think James Corden plays like Bustopher Jones, who's like this like fat cat. Like he's like not like, ooh, he's a fat cat, he's rich. Like he's dressed like a fat cat because it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. Yes.
But like he's legitimately like fat as fuck. He's a monster cat. And like his whole song is like him singing about going places to eat. On the stage production, he uses on the stage production he uses a spoon as like the the yardstick that military guys carry under their arm.
Yeah.
Like, or like the paste stick. I mean, not the yardstick, the paste stick. He uses like a spoon as that, and like it's a huge spoon to us looking at it, but I guess it's just like an average size spoon to a cat. But it's amazing. I am pumped as fuck for it to see like the songs, but it is terrifying.
Yeah, it's very polar expressed
to look at.
in my opinion. Like the look, just like
where it's like real life but animated. Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that was another trailer I watched. The other ones, I'm just gonna go quickly through the other ones. There was a Picard one for Star Trek Picard, the next Star Trek one, the next Star Trek series. It looked good. Westworld, there was all the DC ones, there was Preacher, and then there was The Witcher and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So those were all the trailers I remembered to write down, at least, and that I'd watched, released during Comic-Con. The Witcher is the one that I'm kind of like probably the most like.
That's the only one that did anything for me outside of like Top Gun or Cats. Like that's it. The rest of them I was kind of like, I'm done. I don't care.
That's fair.
I don't give two flying fucks about the Marvel lineup at this point. DC, I'm kind of like, you're watering your brand down. Like for the CW shows.
Yeah.
Like everything, I was just like,
But The Witcher caught your eye, though. That's interesting, because that's based off of a video game, which is based off a set of books, which I didn't learn until watching the trailer.
See, I knew about the books. I didn't realize the video game portion of it.
Oh, see, so we're the opposite.
That's the only thing I knew about.
Yeah, like I knew there was a game, and that was it. I didn't know that the games were like take place after the books that they're technically based off of.
I kind of like those like separate realm stuff, like like Lord of the Rings-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the sort of shit I do enjoy.
Okay.
Like I would never dress up as an elf and go somewhere, but that's more because I don't think I'd fit the appearance of an elf.
I didn't want to make that joke, but I don't think you could also pull off the pointy ears.
Like, at best, Fat Thor. Maybe like a Hellboy who let himself go. But those are pretty much my options.
I like those options, though. I could see you both of those.
I'm too tall to pull off like a dwarf from Lord of the Rings or anything. Like,
which is the part I always love about Lord of the Rings, which is the guy who played Gimli was the tallest man on set.
Yeah, like maybe Hagrid. Like, those are my options. Hagrid, Fat Thor, or Hellboy who let himself go.
Well, hopefully as the body positive movement moves forward, we'll get more of superheroes for you like that. Maybe. I
don't want them though.
Yeah, neither do
I. I don't want. Yeah, like how dare you? You don't get to say that. I get to say that. Like, I mean, realistically, like, what's a fat dude gonna do? Like, you know who like the fat superhero is? Like from my childhood, fucking like Bouncing Boy, or whatever the hell his name was from like Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Zoom with Tim Allen.
Yeah, that one too. Like that's
The kid
it.
who
Like
expands.
yeah, it is Bouncing Boy. And like the first video that came up when I googled it, who the fuck is Bouncing Boy?
See, that's what I'd be googling. Who the fuck is Bouncing Boy?
Like that's it. Like my kind, we're discriminated against, but it's okay because what the fuck is a fat superhero gonna do in a party? Not a party. I guess a party. Like what are they gonna do at a party? But what are they gonna do
That's
at,
the
like
important
in a
part
crisis?
about being a
Yeah.
superhero is what you're gonna do at a party. That Avengers Age of
What are
Ultron
you gonna do at a
scene
party?
exists for a reason.
Yeah, like what would a fat superhero do? He'd be like, "Hey guys, remember when you guys did all that stuff and I was out of breath at the back? Fuck off!" Like, and like, there's no superpower you could give him to like counteract the fatness that wouldn't just be ironic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if
true.
you
And I think
gave,
that's
like,
where
a
you run into the struggle with that in a sense. That's why it
If you gave a
happened.
fat guy super speed, and even if he could move like faster than the Flash, it wouldn't look right.
It'd be
Like
weird, yeah.
it would be like the turtle on the Flash, where like he just slows down time and he just moves normal speed.
Yeah. And that
Like-
made more sense in that context too.
Yeah, like it just there's nothing you could do for a fat guy to make him like legitimate and make him worth my while as a superhero.
Okay, well I have a superhero pitch that I'll throw you after because I don't want it
Okay.
stolen by anybody who might
Okay.
listen to this.
Okay.
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 So yeah.
I think we're okay, but I get it.
Okay. So I'm guessing you don't want me to talk about the Marvel Phase 4 announcements.
The only thing I'm on.
More movies?
Oh, they're doing lots of movies. They're doing too many movies, man.
Well, I would say they're doing too many. They've cut back on how many movies, but they've thrown in some TV shows in between now too. Yeah,
I count those as like the movies
that's fair
though.
because
Like,
they're gonna be they're all mini series. Like gonna be like 8 episodes is what they've announced. So yeah, they're pretty short as it is. So. But yeah, no, they just announced a bunch of stuff. I know you guys aren't as excited for this, but I'm just gonna mention what the next Marvel movie is, which will be Black Widow, and that'll be the May next year, I believe is what it was. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's May and then November next year, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
For the Eternals.
I think so. That seems a little like quick turnaround for them to get Eternals out in a year. I can't remember that. There's a different page. I had all the things written down, but yeah, I'm excited. Oh, the one thing they did announce that like shocked me, which I feel like maybe you, Andrew, you would have liked. I don't know if you heard about this, but
Isn't it Zemo's supposed to be like the villain and?
well, they announced that. I
Is that
didn't
what
care
you're-
you
is that what
care
you're
about
going
that.
with?
I was gonna say Blade.
Okay.
They announced they're doing another Blade. They brought Mahershala Ali back.
Yeah, like I can closing my eyes, I can picture it,
Yeah,
but I don't want a PG-13 Blade.
that's
like,
fair.
One of the things I loved about Blade, and it was probably because I was a teenager, and he was like one of the first movies where he's like motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like, and I was like, oh shit, he said motherfucker. This is awesome.
he says it so many times.
So many
It's
times,
half his
but like,
lines.
yeah. But Wesley Snipes, like, he was just fucking bang on. Like,
What if it's Wesley Snipes comes back to pass it down to a new generation because he caught
like if
some,
he had, like
caught
if
some
he gave
blood
birth to
disease
like
so he's
Blade
getting
2.
old. Like, you know, because you can't.
Okay, so if it's like Shaft,
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
like
They
they all
turned Blade
go
into
by
Shaft.
Shaft.
Vampire
I
hunting
think
Shaft. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I think you would have race riots in the street
that's possible. Yes.
if they just turned another black superhero movie just into like an iconic.
Multi-generational. Yeah,
Yeah, like if they just ripped off another one, like I feel like you'd have race riots in the street.
that's possible.
But no, like just Wesley Snipes was perfect for it.
no, I agree.
And I'm sure they'll work magic, and I'm sure it'll make big bucks. But I liked the heavy-handed, super dark rated R Blade, where vampires were just the scum of the earth, and they're all gonna blow up. And off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure all of them were white. I can't think of any exploding scenes.
I have not watched the Blades in quite some time, so I can't speak to that really.
Ryan Reynolds was pretty cool in it.
Yeah, I liked his.
Like-
That was one of my first introduction to him as an
Yeah.
actor.
Was it Jessica Biel? Was she in Blade Trinity?
Yep.
Yeah, she was a smoke show. So
That was one of her first roles after Seventh Heaven.
yeah, yeah. No, so Blade was whatever.
That's fair. I was just curious about that. I know your feelings generally about the other ones. But yeah, so I checked out a bunch of that stuff. What else did I watch? Oh, the only other thing I really watched was I watched some more Comedians in Cars. They added some new episodes to Netflix, so I've been checking out those. I watched the
They've been
Murphy
real
one.
pushy about it. Every time I open up Netflix on my TV, they're like, "Here are comedians in cars watching coffee." I'm like, "Oh my god, Jerry,
They're paying a lot for it.
Jerry, I don't care."
I get that. I'm enjoying this season so far. He's got a few more bigger celebrities. Like, he had Eddie Murphy on, so that was really interesting to see him and Eddie Murphy. Like, I didn't know this, but they both started in comedy in like the same week. Like, they both
did they?
did like their first open mic in like the same week apparently, or something along those lines, or both headlined a club the first week or something along those lines. But I thought that was pretty interesting that they both had like the same timeline, and Eddie Murphy went like movie star route, and Jerry did one TV show, then retired.
And made more money. Yeah.
And I was like, I probably would have gone the Jerry Seinfeld route, do 7 years and retire, live off those royalties for my whole life. But yeah, I'm a little lazy
Frank
like that. I'm
Caliendo
so
go
lazy
do a
like that.
killer impersonation of me. That's what I wanted. Comedians in Cars getting coffee with Frank Caliendo, where it's just him mocking Jerry in his voice.
Just like a Frank Caliendo sketch of
Yeah.
comedians in cars getting coffee as a YouTube series.
Where it's him doing every character?
No, just Frank Caliendo as Jerry Seinfeld, interviewing other ridiculous comedians that have no business being there.
See, I'd rather have him
Just do both?
or him do the voice of whoever he's impersonating.
Yeah.
And just, but like in like a subtle way where like they don't totally pick up on it. Although now that I'm thinking about it, all of his stuff is super over the top.
Super over the top.
Look at these fingers!
He's so funny.
Yeah, I like Frank Caliendo better than I like Jerry Seinfeld.
Oops.
Whoopsies! Hey, was that it, Scott?
Yeah, that's all I watched this week. It was a lot
Gotcha.
of those trailers. I spent all Saturday doing Comic-Con stuff, even though I wasn't
Damn.
there. I want to make that clear to everybody.
Damn. We are on a different country. We are on like almost a different coast, halfway there.
Yeah, closer than not, I would say.
Yeah. It's fucking far, so he wasn't there.
Well, they classify New York as the opposite coast, and we're in the same time zone as New York.
Ballpark.
So
Yeah.
I'm a count it.
There we go.
But what did you guys watch this week? Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll take the buck on this one. My list isn't crazy. Last week, I forgot to mention that I watched The Last Witch Hunter. So I wanted to toss that one up because I remembered afterwards.
Which one is
I watched that? That's the Vin Diesel one.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I get that one and the Nick Cage one mixed up. Season of the Witch or something like that.
Season of the Witch, yeah. This is the one with Vin Diesel,
Okay.
and it is awful.
I was gonna say, isn't this like if I remember correctly, he's always wanted to do a D&D movie but couldn't get the rights, so that's why he signed up for that one. If I'm remembering the rumor that I heard correctly or something like that.
I feel like he would have been really good in that World of Warcraft movie that came out a couple years ago.
I still haven't seen
Like,
that.
throw him in there instead of like Ragnar Lothbrok. Well, I don't even know what the fuck his name is. I just know him as Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings. But I feel like he would have done good in that. This one, like the premise of it is like witches are trying to destroy the earth. Who'd have guessed?
Yeah.
And he's
Catholic
old as
propaganda.
like he's like way the he's like way the fuck back then, back in time, whatever the year was, and he's like part of this witch hunting clan that's trying to kill the witch queen, and he ends up killing the witch queen after like his family dies and like all his friends die, and she curses him with eternal life. So he can't die and then move and go on to like the next life. He can't go through cats through the Jellicle Ball and get to the next life to be with his family again. So he lives forever, and they've got these, I think they're called like the Donans. I think that's what it was called. Michael Caine is in it. As I think they're called the Donans. I gotta pull this up. But they're the group. God damn it. There we go. They're the group that like helps him. Like they're the clergy
Oh, okay.
who come and like they give him aid in doing all stuff. They're basically like this whipping boys. Dolan, that's what it was.
It's like the Templars in Van Helsing.
Kind of, yeah. So Michael Caine is Dolan 36, and then he dies. So, or they think he's dead, but he's actually had been like hexed, and he has like 48 hours to live, or 24 hours or something. Elijah Wood is the 37th, and then they go and they find Jon Snow's girlfriend on Game of Thrones. She's a witch who can like go into your dreams because
That's his wife in real life.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? But Vin Diesel goes and tracks her down because he needs her to make a potion so he can go into a dream and like remember something about the past so that she can tell him and he can do it.
Okay.
They end up like having a little bit of a thing go on.
Sounds like a Vin Diesel movie.
They don't actually hook up, but like there's a lot insinuated.
I was gonna
there.
say it's insinuated that she's in love with him because he's the most attractive man on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Like every other Vin Diesel movie.
Yeah, yeah, like all of the Fast and Furious movies.
All
where
the-
he's
both
like,
triple
I'm gonna
X's.
knock this bitch up because my girlfriend died, but now she's not dead, so I'm gonna get with her. But you're gonna die, and we're gonna get a kid without having to go through pregnancy. Yeah, that's Fast and Furious 7 and 8 for you guys.
Spoiler
But
alert.
spoilers. Anyways, so legitimate spoiler alert. You find out that the Dolans are actually like working for the witches because they want to bring back the Witch Queen because the world's a shitty place and they think she can fix it by killing off humans because we suck. So the whole thing is them tracing down
Sounds
like
like
one
the
guy who
place for
keeps
that type
like
of
doing
movie.
shit. Kind of like Hellboy, where they've got what's his face, who's just like trying to like bring upon the end of days. Kind of like that, but it's the last witch hunter. So he ends up finding out the Dolans are working for them, and then Elijah Wood's like, no, like we were trying to protect you. If you die trying to like, or like you destroy her, or you die forever, and then we can't protect the world. And he's like, well, I gotta do it, because he's got the deepest voice on the planet, Iron Giant style. So then he goes, and then you find out that Elijah Wood is actually a witch who doesn't have any magic, and that when Vin Diesel saved him as a baby from a group of witches, he actually killed his parents. So like it became his life's duty to like avenge them and bring back his queen. But then the queen's like, any witch that doesn't have magic is just another person.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you're not a witch if you don't have magic. Like, I thought that's the
And
one
then-
qualification for being a witch.
And then she killed him. And then Vin Diesel does some cool shit with like his magic sword that he lights on fire a whole bunch of times. Oh, it was so bad. But like, I watched it. I didn't even pause it. I was just like, wow, this sucks. Still sucks.
Never
It
stop.
was terrible. It was terrible. So, moving on from that before I just get bummed out. I finished Kim's Convenience. Or the second season, anyways, that they had on Netflix. Bummed me the fuck out because I was ready for more. Because that show is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
I forget that they swear, though. Like, every once in a while, they just, like, sneak one up on you.
Isn't the CBC the best?
Like, I was watching it with Kendall. I was showing it to her when we started from the beginning. Because I was like, I think you would really like this show because A, it's Canadian content. B, it shows like a legitimate side of like second generation children, what they're going through in like Canadian comedy, which covers more broad ground. It's not just your typical like here's a bunch of white guys doing their thing.
You can get that
But-
in this podcast.
That's true. That's true.
It's all the Canadian content you need if that's what you're looking for.
That's it.
Exactly. Looking by for some
But,
white man produced content. Look
Yeah.
right here.
There we go. But there's an episode where one of the cousins, I forget her name, comes over from Korea, and they're out to dinner, and like she's really childish and like kind of flirting with people and weird. And Janet, the main character for me anyway, she doesn't like it. She's like, start acting like a fucking adult, and you're like, oh shit, didn't see that coming. Like every once in a while, I think his name is Mr. Chin. And he's like the Chinese, I think he's a Chinese food restaurant owner on the series. He'll say shit out of nowhere, and you're like, oh damn, I didn't see that coming.
Good old
But like,
Canadian broadcasting rules.
yeah. But every once in a while, they're just like, fuck.
We don't care.
Yeah. Well, I think you're allowed one.
Yeah.
Like I think that's it. Like
it's after a specific time of day too, so
Yeah.
it depends on when Kim's Convenience airs.
Airs, yeah.
On
But it
the
was just,
CBC.
it caught me so off guard. Like,
These
act
are
like
your
a
tax
fucking
dollars
adult. I love it. I love it. Canadian content is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Actually, the guy who plays her brother, Jung, he's actually cast to play, was it Shang-Chi or whatever his name is, in the Marvel movie.
Oh, was that him? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew he was a Canadian actor.
He's actually, like, Chinese, though. Like, he was born in China.
Oh. Okay.
So, like, I couldn't find any information on him about what his parents' ethnicity was. But I was like, you're playing a Korean guy. This seems like something someone would have researched. Someone would have been like, no, it seems inappropriate to have you play you. Because everyone else on the show was Korean-Canadian. Or, like, from Korea and emigrated. Or, like, the mom, she was born in Illinois, I think. But she came up, but she's Korean. I mean, still kind of weird that they'd have Randy from Train 48 with, like, a super heavy Korean accent. Seems kind of inappropriate. But he does it phenomenally, and he's probably the best part of the show. And not even in, like, haha, he's doing a bing bong voice way, but in, like, a legitimately, like, he brings so much to the table because he's the character that grows the most.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. So next up, I watched a couple episodes of Grey's Anatomy because I'm committed to getting it done and off of my continue viewing list.
How far away are you from that?
Like a season and a half,
Oh,
2 seasons. Yeah, your boy's behind.
That's gonna kill you. I'm like 4 years behind, and I'm so happy with my life since it.
Ugh,
It's a relief.
it's so bad. Like,
so terrible.
everyone who works at the hospital is just getting sick. Why is everyone wanting to go there? Like, oh, you have a brain tumor the size of... Why are you taking it out and letting her go back to work in like a couple days? Why? Why is this happening? So I also watched a couple episodes of Queer Eye because the 4th season just came out.
Yep.
Kendall watched all of it without me, so I watched like one episode.
I know. See, I gotta stop you right there.
You just
'Cause
guys
I
both go
know
through this?
that exact feeling. I found out because Sam's like, "Oh yeah, the newest season of Queer Eye came out." And I was like, "Well, I know Overwatch," and she's like, "I actually watched it all." I was like, "Why? You know
Yeah,
I like it."
that's how I felt. Kendall's like, "Why? I did warn you in advance," and I was like, "I didn't think you were actually gonna do it."
Watch Glee. I care way less about Glee.
Okay.
I want to see people's lives legitimately get better. I want to see them go into some backwoods Missouri towns where you get a farmer who's like, I've never actually had a conversation with a gay person before.
Those
And then
are
they're
the
kind of like,
best episodes.
they're kind of like, you don't know that you've had a conversation with a gay person before, buddy. And then this guy's just like fully open. He's just like, cool. I appreciate you guys coming in here and helping me out. My life is significantly better. Don't know why my best friend had to nominate me so you guys can come in here and get rid of the bed that I was boning my wife in for years before she left me, and now my girlfriend's in it. Should have just fucking clicked that I should just get a new mattress. But, okay.
It's on my list of things to do.
Yoinks. But, like, it was just... I was kind of upset. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I finished that last episode of Friends from College without her, so I guess we're even.
Wait,
if you attack on
one
the interest.
episode compared to a season?
Yeah, I watched the season finale without her, and she watched all of it without
Yeah,
me.
doesn't seem like the same thing.
In her defense, she'd only watched like half
I'm
the
not
season at that
defending
point.
your actions. I'm just saying the severity of hers. Like, it's like if you killed one person and she killed a busload. That's different. It's a big degree of, you know.
Yeah,
Scott
Y-
finally
like, there-
solved
there's-
the trolley problem.
there we go. Was that a Good Place reference?
Yes.
So I still can't get over that. Like, she did it without me. Fantastic show. It is a feel-good show. I need to finish it though. I only watched the one episode.
Which
So
episode did you watch?
That was the Missouri farmer one.
Oh, okay.
The guy with
The first episode with there's like an old Croatian guy or whatever, wherever he's from.
okay.
That one's fantastic.
Is
Like,
it?
that is
I might go watch an episode before I go to bed.
that is the most ridiculous overhaul I've ever seen on that show.
I really like the heavy duty ones where like they walk into it and like you're legitimately like, how the fuck are they gonna fix this guy? Because there's some of them where you're like, really, you just need to tell this guy to take a shower.
Well, that was the Missouri
Like-
Missouri farmer for me, because like even after I was kind of like drowsing I was falling asleep
Yeah.
when they were like when Jonathan was doing his hair and stuff, and like I kind of dozed off, and he was starting to cut his hair, and I woke up. He's like, "Okay, so when's he gonna do it?" And they were like, "No, he's done." And I'm like,
What?
they just cleaned up his beard. Like it looks exactly the same. I could have done this.
Yeah, for him, like, my interest wasn't in that or like the renos in the house, because like there was parts of his house where I was like, oh, you guys had no idea what to do for him, so you just made it look like a hotel. Yeah, they made it look like a hotel, and they say that at one point. He's like, oh, my bedroom looks like a hotel room, and you're like, yeah, they had no idea what the fuck to do for you, so they just 180'd it, went the whole other direction. But for him, it was more like he owned a bunch of small businesses.
Yeah.
All farming related, because that was the only way he could make his ends meet. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Karamo is going to step in and finally do something this episode.
Because he doesn't.
Because he doesn't.
Say, "You're worth it, bud. Good luck."
Yeah, the first episode
Culture.
where I was still
What
kind of
the
skeptical
hell does
jumping
that
in.
mean,
Well, when
culture?
they listed him as the culture guy, when they're like pitching everybody in the first episode, when I was still skeptical, I was like, oh, culture. His job is definitely going to be to sit down with this guy and be like, okay, you're from this town. Tell me something about this town and yourself. And they're going to tell him, he's going to be, okay, well, you said this. I did a little bit of research, and I think we can help you grow as a human in your town. No. Karamo's job is basically just to give you sound bites.
Yep.
Like
So he's
in the
pop
Missouri
culture.
one. Yeah, well, in the Missouri farmer one, they're all like out in the barn, like, and they're playing with baby goats and little piglets and super cute farm animals. And Karamo's like, when they all get like the disease that goes around and Walking Dead, they're gonna be like, whoa, why didn't Karamo get it? Because I'm not touching those dirty ass animals. And I was like, oh, okay. So this episode, you literally aren't contributing anything?
Nothing. He contributed nothing to that.
Your job is he's basically a taxi driver.
He really hasn't done a whole lot of anything.
No, he wears cool outfits,
Yep.
and then he drives the guy to like go try on his clothes or to the gym or like whatever his one activity is in between doing stuff.
And talks to him like he's a life coach.
Yeah, like he's just a beautiful black man.
Man, you need to take time for you. Oh, was that what I was missing?
Oh shit, you mean between running a farm and trying to raise kids and going through my divorce, that's where I fucked up. Gotcha. Thanks, Karamo.
Seriously though, you need to watch the first episode of that season.
I'll go do that.
With the old Croatian dude. He's got like a mustache.
I don't like the women episodes.
See, but there's I think it's a third episode or something like that. There's the lady who's who runs like the Latin Art Festival in Kansas City.
Okay.
That
Okay.
episode's really good because the turnaround in her general appearance is fantastic.
Well, there's two over the last couple of years that there's the one where there's the two sisters who had like the barbecue sauce company. I don't know if you remember that one. That one, I was just like, oh yeah, flip them, because they are clearly doing a lot for the community and they have the stepping stones. They just don't have the time to make the effort and to visualize it. And then there's another one. I think it was when they were still in like Alabama, in
Atlanta.
Georgia, yeah, where they were dealing with like the one from like the deep south, who she had a gay son as well, and like she was totally accepting of it, and like her thing was really just like she wanted to give back to the community. That was her goal in life, was like through the church and stuff. And you got to see how Bobby had his hard time with the church, because he talks about that in a lot of episodes. But like her, it was just like, you're a genuine human being. Like you are one of the good ones, and there's only like 17 of you on the planet, so congratulations. Like those ones I liked, but there were some of them where I was like, oh, like you just don't like dressing up. Okay, like that doesn't mean you're a fuck up. Like you work hard. Like there's one where she was like a correctional officer or something like that, and she came home from work and she was just tired, so she threw on like her camo hoodie and her pants, and I was like, that's 93% of Campbellford. Like everyone under the age of 40, like that's what they wear, and if they're not wearing that, it's because they're wearing pajamas everywhere. #Walmart lifestyle. So like maybe it's just that's how they dress. And this woman was gorgeous. Once they did her flip, it was like, holy damn. But it was just one of those things I was like, boring. Whereas the guys, I feel like most guys just don't know what looks good. Or they just don't know. They genuinely just don't know. They're like, oh, well, I've been wearing my hair this way forever because my mom told me it looked good. Because, like, how many times does that fucking happen? So you're like,
Well, you would know better
times.
than us.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that in my entire life.
so like that's what people tend to do. It's just like one person told me it looked good, so this is what I do.
That's how a lot of humans work.
Yeah, so like, whereas women, like, they're just like, yeah, this just works for me in most cases. So like, I prefer the guy ones because we need help. We need more help. We're fuck.
We're less
Fucking losers.
self-sufficient.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna love that old Croatian dude.
Okay, well, I'll watch that after the pod.
Like 180 doesn't quite suffice. It's like a
Oh, damn.
360.
Like a 720 plus another 180. It's a
Exactly.
900.
Like just like completely turns this guy's life around. And he's a good dude.
Okay. There's a lot of good dudes. There's also a lot where you're just like, oh, you're just a lazy piece of shit. How the fuck did you get on the show? But next up, I watched Lord of the Rings. Finished the trilogy at the shop. Fantastic. Probably gonna play Return of the King again tomorrow because it's a long fucking movie and I only have to press play twice. So that's pretty cool. Well, I got 3 more things. I got Anaconda.
Oh, damn.
Which is throwback, which is like
probably one of the lowest budgeted made movies ever, because it's got like 6 people in the whole movie, and it's them on a boat. Most of their movies them just arguing on like a boat in the middle of like the Amazon or whatever it is.
It's not even like it's a big old boat, isn't it? Isn't one of those like dinky things? Am I thinking? Oh no, am I getting that mixed up?
No, it's like a big like pontoon boat type thing that they're going through.
Okay,
like,
I'm mixing it up with something else.
Whoever's for.
I think I'm thinking
But,
maybe like Placid, to be honest now.
Jon Voight's probably like the highest paid actor in the movie. There's him, there's Owen Wilson, there's a chick whose name I forget who plays like Batgirl and a bunch of stuff in animated movies. She's more of a voice actor than a live actress. J-Lo, Ice Cube, the guy who plays Robin Williams' dad in Jumanji. Also I believe the dad in Richie Rich. Also the dad in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, so it's just
pretty much
he's
yeah,
the same guy
just
I'm
the
thinking about
dad
with the glasses and the kind of like
British voice, very like kind of stuck up. He would probably play a really good young Alfred back in the day. But he's in it, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's the movie.
yep.
Them like dealing with like these giant anacondas. that
It's
just
in
keep
the
eating shit.
it's in the title. I mean,
It was so bad, but captivating. Like I remember seeing it once as a kid.
yeah,
being,
I
"What
watched
the
it on
fuck?"
TBS probably when I was a kid. That's what sticks out to me is being able
Probably.
to see the
There's
TBS.
a scene where it eats Owen Wilson, and then like, unlike most snakes where they're like, I ate, now I need to take like a day to digest this thing. This one's like, I'm just gonna fall in the water, I'm gonna swim behind this boat, waiting for my next meal, and like the thing's like 30 feet long, and he just like comes up behind, and you see like the shittiest digitally imprinted like carcass with like Owen Wilson having an open face, like just like coming around in the snake, and you're like, not how it works. That's not how it would go.
That's not how it works.
Jon Voight just doesn't want to die. Like he gets eaten and then like, regurgitated because it's Jon Voight.
They need to get
Well, I
that money
always thought it was Anthony Hopkins in that movie, mainly because he kind of looks like Anthony Hopkins the way he's dressed up and acts in it. So I saw Shazam.
Oh, throwback weekend.
Throwback, because it came out on Blu-ray last week.
Ooh.
So I bought that shit. And let me tell you, still just as good.
Is good the right
It
word
is
for
a...
it? I
What?
said, is good the right word for it?
You're right, it's not. It's great. Shazam is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, okay, my mistake. I was thinking you said... Wait.
I'm talking about Shazam, Billy Batson.
Yeah, I was getting that. I was
The
thinking
superhero.
Kazam.
You thinking Kazam?
I was thinking Kazam.
No.
That's why I said throwback.
No.
I was
Well, that's
like,
why I was
wait.
questioning, like, when you said
Throwback, yeah, I was
is
thinking
good,
Kazam.
is good the right word? And I was like, no, it's fucking
My head went
amazing.
right to Kazam, not Shazam.
Okay.
Go back. Go on with Shazam, though. I'm on the right page now.
Shazam, there was a lot of little things that I didn't catch the one and only time I'd seen it prior.
Yeah.
Like, at the beginning when Savan is a kid and he's like reaching for the eye. I didn't realize that they actually called it an eye to start with.
Oh.
I thought it was just like an orb and it just happened to go in his eye instead of like up his butthole or something.
but like they call it the eye, and he's like reaching for it, and they show his face with the reflection of it like in his glasses on his eye that it goes in. So I was like, oh damn, didn't pick up on that. But the acting in that movie is incredible. Like, other than I forget her name, like the youngest sister when she's like the superhero version. It's not Mary, it's the other one.
Yeah, I've only seen
I
this.
gotta pull this up. I gotta pull up the name because it's gonna bug me.
I was thinking Shaquille. And
Darla. When it's superhero Darla. The Megan Good is the actress of the adult.
Yeah.
Like, that is just some shit acting, but at the same time, like, how is an adult supposed to, like,
well, that's what I was
play,
gonna
like,
say.
a
She's
6 or
acting as the
7-year-old?
youngest of the group too,
Yeah.
in an adult body. So it's you
Yeah,
gotta forgive
like,
that a little bit.
that one I'm willing to look the other way on, but the rest of the movie is just like, oh, it's so good.
I would have no idea how to act like an 8-year-old right now.
Yeah. That monologue bit, though, it still got me. Like, I laughed my ass off. Like,
Huh?
what? I'm like a mile away. But other than that, I only watched The Lion King.
The new one or
The new one.
Okay. What'd you think?
I caved. I went and saw it.
Yeah, I figured you would have to.
I didn't take Kendall to see Aladdin like I said I would. So I had to take her to see The Lion King. Visually spectacular. I honestly didn't need any of the music in it. Like, if they had just stripped all the songs from it, I would have really enjoyed it more.
So Hamlet with tigers, or Macbeth with tigers?
Yeah.
I can't remember which one
Yeah.
it is.
Lot.
It's Hamlet with
Lions?
but that's okay.
Tigers, yeah. I was
Yeah.
focused on the
And
did I
bears,
get
so am I.
Macbeth or not? Oh, I need to get
But, yeah. But, no, like, it was good. Billy Eichner as Timon and Seth Rogen as Pumbaa was hilarious.
Yep.
They were probably the best part of the movie for me.
Second best casting decision.
second.
Second best casting decision was those
Yeah.
two. The best.
I was
casting
skeptical.
decision
James Earl
was
Jones.
James Earl Jones.
The rest of it,
Oh, that's a cheat.
like those
Okay.
those three are pretty much it. I'm still super fucking like agitated. I'll say that they didn't try to get. I don't know if they tried, but they didn't get Jeremy Irons
I know.
back
It didn't feel right.
because it didn't. Like he was so good.
He was a good singer too.
Yeah.
So he
Be prepared.
He would have fit the role really well. I mean, he already
Yeah.
did it once, so it would have fit really well with the.
They could have just fucking stripped the audio from the first
Well,
one
that's
and put it in.
That's
it
what
seems
I think would have been so much funnier is if they just taken cut for cut the audio from the
Yeah.
from the original and
just put it
redid
over.
the visuals.
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic.
like I understand like you want to cater it to a younger generation, someone who wasn't around through the like when it first came out. But at the same time, like you can't bring back one of the iconic voices.
Yeah, that's the part that's.
And then
dumb.
not like sure, he was Mufasa, absolutely. But like
You could not recast that though. Like
well yeah,
you
but
can
they
make the same argument for Scar, but you really can't.
I am making the same
you
argument
can't,
for Scar.
You can't
like,
recast James Earl Jones.
Yeah, it has yet to be done.
Exactly.
well, we also have never heard someone else do it. So like I couldn't have pictured anyone doing Scar outside of Jeremy Irons. I know that I've heard it. I still prefer Jeremy Irons.
But the person who
like-
did it grew on me as the movie went. At first, I was like, "Ooh, this isn't right." But then, as it got like further and further on, it's almost like they figured it out. It wasn't as far off, but it was still not the same. Jeremy Irons is preferred.
Yeah.
That's actually
One
the
thing-
big thing I've heard about this one, like in particular.
Sam's
One
big complaint was that they used that stupid Beyonce song.
Yeah,
at
that
the
did
one
nothing
part.
for me.
And it was like,
Yeah.
well, that's because
You picked
if
for
there's one
Beyonce.
thing that Sam and I have in common, it's that we cannot stand Beyonce.
Yeah, I accept that. I accept that in full. I didn't like it at first, but I liked the fact that they changed up Ed, one of the hyenas.
Yeah.
Like, because when they cast Andre, whatever his
Yeah,
name was,
It's, I can't remember.
fuck.
It's Eric Andre.
Eric
That's
Andre,
why.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Threw
when
me
they
off.
when they cast DJ Cupid or whatever his name was.
Did you
When,
count?
uh,
left,
left, yeah.
left.
When they cast him as Ed, like I kind of just expected him doing like a snickering laugh, you know, like Ed was in the first one. But it was kind of nice to see that he was just kind of like a dumb hyena.
But he wasn't even really that dumb.
Because like in the first one, like in the animated one, or yeah, I guess the first one because this was
Just
fucking
go with it.
Because there
animated.
were
Yeah,
sequels.
yeah. In the '93 one, like he was literally he was a dullard. He was just there. Like he was a fuck up. But then you come up with this one, you're like, oh no, he was just kind of there. Like he was just like Keegan-Michael Key's partner.
I prefer the hyenas in the animated one, though. They were so much more fun.
Yeah, they added more of a comical aspect of it.
Yes.
I kind of liked the
Did they
like the whole
dance
movie.
again?
I was just what was
Did
that?
the hyenas dance again?
No, there's
No.
no dancing with the hyenas.
They cut
Which
out
is
they
what
cut
I
out a
mean.
lot of the
It's missing-
iconic scenes.
It's missing a lot of the stuff that like Child Craig really thought was funny.
I half expected them to do, the scene in what's this thing? I just can't wait to be king. I half expected them to do the like animal pile up tower
Yeah.
that they do. I half expected that, and then they didn't.
But
They just had them kind of like
If
walk
they
up on a
did
rock.
that, and then they would have had to do the hyenas dancing.
Yeah.
And so it made sense that they pulled a lot of the more
Oh, absolutely. But they were
unrealistic
still
stuff out of the movie.
the iconic stuff.
So wait, are you saying? Oh damn! I forget the young lion's name. He never walks on his hind legs. Is that what you're telling me? During Akuma Matata.
no hind leg walking.
No.
It's more realistic. I'll give it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of scenes in that movie where it feels like the animators are just like, yeah, we did that.
There was one part
That's a
like
whole
right
movie,
off the hop where I was just like, oh fuck. Like I was not on board. It was when they start doing the Circle of Life. And I start hearing the song and it's not Elton John and I was like, well, I'll be in the car, babe. I'm out. But then I stayed.
Yeah.
But it's when they have all the animals like running towards Pride Rock and they bring up like the ostriches and they're like running zigzag pattern. It was some of like the worst animation I've ever seen, especially in a big budget movie, because the legs were just like they weren't moving properly the way they would move on the animal, and the animal itself wasn't moving the way with the legs.
Which is
so it was just
funny.
It would be
because-
super difficult for them to do. Like I'm conceding that. Like it probably would have been some of the hardest animation in the movie because the legs do move so fast, but it looked so shitty, and you only see it for like a split second because they go boom boom boom. But I was like, oh, that fucking sucked.
But they had that entire sequence with the mouse that they followed the entire way.
Yeah.
That was
When
really
Scar's
good.
trying to get him, yeah.
So that
It was
it's like they're trying to distract you away from it at that point.
yeah.
The other thing I did not like about this movie, I'm kind of hijacking your list, but it saves me from
No
talking
worries,
about
dude.
it
Well, this is my last thing, so it's a good segue
perfect,
into yours.
because it kind of saves me from talking about it later too.
Yeah.
Is I did not like God, what's his first name? Glover. As
Donald.
Donald.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Donald.
almost
Yeah.
called him
I just-
Danny.
See, that's the problem is they both start with D, so I'm like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Donald,
running
yeah.
into Scott's life problem right now.
Yeah.
They're both a D name and they have the same last name, and I'm expected to remember the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Troy from Community.
I did not. Yeah, I was gonna say Childish Gambino.
Troy Barnes.
I did not like his cast because I didn't think his voice fit the
Yeah.
character, because it's supposed to be like a lion, and his voice is not a lion. Not a lion at all.
I feel like they made it a little bit of a race movie, which
Well,
whatever. It's in Africa.
That's
I'll
why
I'll
they
let you
recast-
have it.
I would guess that's why they
But-
recast a lot of stuff, but then it makes
Yeah.
you wonder why you end
Billy
up with-
Eichner
yeah,
is-
Why is Seth
and
Rogen
John
there?
Oliver and
Yeah.
Seth Rogen all make it into this movie.
Like, yeah. Doesn't really make sense.
Everybody else checks the boxes.
Yeah.
But those three.
But no, I didn't like the look of Scar either.
See, I
Like
thought he
I
looked-
know he's supposed to be mangy, like in the animated
I thought
one.
he looked exactly like the animated one. Like he,
They
I
did a
thought
really
he
good
was the
job. It was
closest
just I
character.
didn't like his mane. Like he just looked like wet and ratty, and I didn't like the look of it. Like I know it was bang on. It was just maybe
Like the slope of his nose was perfect.
No, they nailed it, but it was just I didn't like how wet he looked
That's,
all the
I mean, he
time.
lives in a cave.
Like he
It
looked
makes
like
him-
like he looked like he was wet and just I mean, he was starving, but like just looked like he had alopecia for lions. Liopecia. Anyways, yeah, that's my list.
Cool. So my list, I watched The Lion King.
Queer Eye.
Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Check. And that's everything.
I'm almost entirely caught up on Mike Tyson Mysteries. There's a new episode this week that I have to watch.
I've only watched a handful of them.
But I will get to it. They are pretty good. They're like Mike Tyson Mysteries.
I think I'm going to wait for them to finish the season and then just binge it.
There's been a couple it always amazes me how much they pack into 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that's how long the episode is. Like, I was watching one, and it's one where like Pigeon goes into a drug-induced coma, and
that's one of the ones I watched.
It's like his super weird dream.
Yeah.
And then
at the end, like, they're gonna kill Pigeon, and then like everyone's got like the creepy face on, like,
yeah. And then at the very end, he wakes up, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in a freaking coma.
Yeah, because he did all the drugs.
That was the entire point, and it was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've just gone on this massive trip. So
I think it's because it constantly moves.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're always doing something.
Yeah.
It's a great show. And it helps that it's 10 minutes because it's kind of like Life in Pieces where you can leave. Like you can start it, you can finish it, you can go. Yeah. It's not like I have to decide, am I going to watch an episode and be late for work?
Yeah.
Or am I going to start it and then forget what the fuck happens and have to restart it later?
Yeah. It has the benefit of being 10 minutes. So there's a new episode this week. I'm going to watch it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Well, they drop 2 a week, don't they?
I think it's 1 a week.
1? Okay, because I know 1 week they drop 2 in one go.
That explains why I was 4 behind. I thought I was better than 4 behind, but I was at one point. I'm sure I watched an episode of Designated Survivor, although I can't remember if I have. So I'm just going to throw that in there.
You're still rattled about the Queer Eye thing. I get it.
It's just like, I got to pick what I watch. I almost started Bad Blood season 2, but I don't want to be distracted by anything else.
No, Bad Blood season 2, you got to buckle in. Like you got to either do it in a night or 2 nights.
See, I don't have.
You're gonna be like Sam. I'll see you Thursday.
I don't have that kind of time.
You got to tell Sam, babe, I love you. I'm hitting pause on us hanging out together. Bad Blood is important.
I'm a busy guy. I watched some Glee. My opinions on that show stand. I have
awful.
No idea what it wants to be. Is it a satire? I have no idea. Does it take itself seriously? Probably. Is it a musical? Is it a music or show about music? I have no idea. But you miss half an episode of freaking Glee, and like 6 relationships start and end, and you have no context for it.
High school.
That's pretty much it. The one saving grace for me that's actually starting to restore my sanity is, for the first time in a while, I've paid attention between 2 episodes, and there's been a point where they introduce a character with 0 context and 0 background explanation, but in a way that a normal show would be like, it took a while to get to this point, but they do 0 background on this character, and I've realized that all of the issues that I had with the show where I didn't understand what was happening can just be explained by the fact that they introduce and remove characters by the episode with 0 explanation, 0 backstory, and 0 purpose.
Now, is that something I don't think I know neither of you were on a Glee Club, but I don't think. But is that a normal happenstance for a Glee Club?
I can't imagine.
Is it like supposed to be like a theme? You know what I mean?
They're not even main characters. They're just little side characters that they put in. But it was
the school is built around the Glee Club. We talked about this.
Yes. But there's 0 explanation. I had to read the episode description in order to get it. I missed most of the episode, so I'm not even going to know how this panned out. But there was an Irish exchange student that the one girl was treating like a leprechaun. And you're like, what is going on? Where is the backstory for this? I've gotten little bits of information, but none of it makes sense. None of the backstory that's in the episode description has been presented to me so far, and I've watched all of it. So that's my other issue. That, and it's like you miss an episode, you come back, and like a relationship has restarted for 0 reason, and they've added 6 characters, and one guy's transferred schools, and now they're starting a rival Glee Club at the same school because why not?
Wait,
and
is
now
that a
they're
thing?
putting on West. Yeah, oh yeah, and now they're putting on West.
Why didn't we
Side
start a
Story.
second football team? Jeez.
And then the
So
whole
wait,
thing's
is-
predictable.
So
So
sounds so yeah, exactly.
Is one
I
doing
hope
West
it's a
Side and the other one's
satire.
doing like Romeo and Juliet? Like,
see, that's the part of that makes me think it's a satire, is that they're constantly poking fun at the Glee Club. So either the show is so
up its own ass.
unaware of itself that it's like, this is how Glee Clubs are, isn't it great? And people like us are like, no, it's not. What are you doing?
Terrible people.
Or the show's like, look at these idiots. This is how ridiculous life is. But we're going to put some cool music in there anyway.
Yeah.
So that's Glee.
Yep.
And then their episode recaps at the beginning, or like they do a quick
Last
recap.
time on Glee.
Yeah, they do a quick recap of the episode, or of the series, basically. But they pick and choose stuff that is not in order, and sometimes they go really far back just to catch you up, and then the whole, like, it's done really fast, and they're like, and that's what you missed on Glee, and you're like, no, it's not. I've seen all that stuff.
That was
That's not
season
what was
1.
in the
We're on
last
season
episode.
5.
I missed the last 2. Everything
They
you
used
showed
to
me in
do
the
that,
recap,
though.
I already saw.
Most TV shows used to do shit like that, though. It never made sense to me.
At least when a Designated Survivor does a recap every episode, and it's like a sped up version of
Of the
what's
last 2
happened
episodes.
before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, perfect. I forgot where we were, but now I know where we are. And Glee is like, actually, we're going to do this entirely out of order, and we're going to pick random stuff every episode, and it's going to be fun. Don't worry about it.
And you're like, but I am worrying about it.
This isn't helping me.
Why is this happening?
I just want to know what happened. Like, I'm watching the show. I'm semi-interested, because what else am I going to do? And I can't follow it.
But sounds about right.
We did not watch Glee yesterday. Instead, we watched a little film called The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh my god. So good.
Right?
So good.
That movie had me guessing the entire time. Good for you guys. And I hated Matthew McConaughey because of his role in Interstellar. And I've changed my opinion on Matthew McConaughey. He just needs to not do Interstellar.
Michael Connolly
it's funny you
is
say
in
that
no
because that
way
was
my
the movie that changed him from like the handsome guy who always takes off his shirt to he can do stuff.
See, but
Oh.
the Lincoln Lawyer, he just
It's so fucking good.
I remember
Like
seeing
the
that in high
whole
school.
movie, he's like the bad good guy.
he's such a greaseball. He plays it so
Oh yeah.
well.
Okay, I've read the books. I'm not a huge Michael Connolly fan, but I saw The Lincoln Lawyer first, and then I read the books. The second one, it's called, what's it called? The Gods of Guilt. I think that's what it's called. And it starts off with him, like in the book, of him being like in court with his client, and they get in a fight, and the client punches him in the mouth, and the blood spits out, so they call, not a mistrial, but they call a pause on it and give him the opportunity to switch lawyers, because it's a conflict of interest at that point.
No kidding.
So they switch out lawyers, but it was all fucking
Yeah, I was just
choreographed and
thinking
planned.
that.
He puts a blood packet in his mouth, so that way he can step out. They've already got this idea of like him fucking up the case. So now all the evidence that has been presented before, they're not supposed to use that as evidence. Like now they got this new lawyer in who's supposed to like change shit up, and it's his partner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like he's slimy like that, but like he knows how to work the system in the right way.
Yeah.
But it's the Lincoln Lawyer is so fucking good because
was
he starts off like slimy,
Yep.
but then like halfway through, all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's got a heart.
Yeah. Well,
Like you find out that he lost his license for drinking, and he took this guy on as his driver, and he got his license back months ago. He's given this guy a job.
yeah. Just the entire time, you think you've got the movie figured out.
Oh, you don't.
It lulls you into this false sense of security where you're like, all right, so we're watching a legal thriller where he tries to get this guy off of an assault, and we probably have to deal with some sort of threats from it's like a Tanya Harding situation is my imagination
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they're like, wait a second, no, maybe not. And then they're like, no, definitely not. And then you're like, okay, well, that's cool. But why'd you have to kill William H. Macy?
Yeah.
And because that comes out of nowhere. And then they're like, by the way, here's Bryan Cranston. You're like, why can't they be in the same movie at the same time? Like, why does one have to die and the other one has to come in at the same time? Why must you do this to me? I miss you, Frank Levin.
And by the way, Ryan Phillippe's a piece of shit. Boom.
And then
everything.
you think you've got the movie figured out. And then they're like, oh, by the way, he knows that he killed this guy, or he killed the girl before. And you're like, well, obviously.
And he
at the same time, sure, but then he's got this conflict where he's like, he's going to get him off of the charges. And then you think the movie's over, and you're going to have to play out the inference in your head of like, did money actually win out today, or what the hell's the deal here? And then there's the arrest, and then the mother comes to the house, and you're like, why is this movie not over yet? Why can't we have a peaceful, happy resolution? And then there's shootings. And then it's over.
It's so fucking good.
It was so good. I stayed up late.
It reminds me of
a
a Grisham book or movie, and it's just so much better.
It was so good. I'm so glad I watched it. And that's the last
I'm glad you liked
this
it
week.
because when you started when you said the Lincoln Lawyer, I was like, if he says that he didn't like this movie, I might lose it.
The only reason, so like, I had a negative opinion of Matthew McConaughey going in, so I was like, this will probably be all right. And then it was more than all right.
Yeah, see, I love Matthew McConaughey. I like, from that, it kind of sparked my like interest in him. All his movies where he wasn't just that, all right, like where he was like legitimately acting. And like from that, True Detective, I enjoyed him in Interstellar, but that's because that movie
couldn't stand listening to him talk for no reason.
Yeah, for the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like from that and like True Detective, like season 1, like he's a phenomenally well-rounded actor. He's been not typecast. He just did those roles of like the stupid blonde guy.
Well, he took the roles that they'd give him, which is handsome, dumb guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he nailed it.
Yeah, he did a great job.
If it's working for you.
Absolutely. But I believe that wraps up episode
94.
Was it 94?
Yes, it does. Our
We're
Quentin
6
Tarantino
episodes away
movie episode.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully it ended the way you thought it was going to start.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Thanks for listening this week, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, I guess.